Alright everyone, I'm going to do another Dayz tutorial, and it's going to be similar to one that I've already done, but just a little bit differently. And if you go back, probably about 5 months, 6 months, I don't know, it was a little while ago, I did a Dayz community offline mode tutorial, how you'd go about importing custom objects, and that sort of stuff into your Dayz server. Well, now with expansion being released, and it's obviously been released a while, there's a new Dayz, a new expansion community offline mode file that you can use instead of like the default one. So it's a little bit different. So I thought I'd go ahead and show you that. So the first thing you really want to do is make sure you got the latest expansion mission files. So I'll put this link in the description, but you basically go over to the expansion mod team GitHub link, and you can get the files. But I'll put the direct link in the description. Make sure you get the latest working one. So the time of recording this is the 1.4.1109. These are the latest missions. I can just click here, source code, or I can just click in the actual mission itself. But you want to make sure you get the zip source code, download it, and extract it onto your desktop, or somewhere where you know it's easy for you to get. If I minimize this, close that. Once it's done and extracted, you'll have a folder that looks like this, and you'll have all the missions, and you'll have all the community offline mode missions. Now we don't need to worry about the normal missions because we're just doing the offline mode tutorial. So there's basically three that you're going to be really working from. So you've got the normal Chernarus Plus. You have got Chernarus Plus Gloom, which live servers, so servers that you can actually play on, can use. But the offline mode doesn't have any files for it. So if you using the Chernarus Plus Gloom mission files, like I am myself, you need to edit stuff on the Chernarus Plus mission files, so keep that in mind. You've also got Deer Isle and Deer Isle Gloom. I don't know if you're using any with Gloom, and so that you've got Enoch and Enoch Gloom. I would say if you're using anything with Gloom in your actual server, just use the main one. So just use Enoch, Deer Isle, and Chernarus Plus, because the map's the same. Gloom, it just comes with visual upgrades, pretty much. So just use the normal one. So there's three that you're going to need. So I'm working with Chernarus, so I would need to copy this expansion.com.chernarus plus folder into, if we open up another file, so you want to go to basically where your Steam is, where your Dayz is located. So mine's C drive, program files 86, you know this drill. And again, if you want to go back and watch my first video on how to set up Dayz offline community mode, you can see how you go about doing this and setting it up anyway. And we want to go to Steam apps, common, find Dayz, and missions. Okay, if you don't have this mission folder, because sometimes you don't always have it, just create it. You can just right click, new folder, call it missions, and there you go, Bob's your uncle, away you go, it's there. So, you may have, or may not have, just this Dayz offline Chernarus Plus in there. I've seen, you should have it in there, but I've seen some people that don't have it in there. I don't think you need it. Well, no, I know you don't need it actually, because I was teaching a friend how to use the offline mode, and he hasn't got it. And these top two, these are the two. If you saw my first video, these are the two I downloaded to actually get the offline mode up and running. What you need to do to get it up and running. And this bottom one is the expansion version. So this is the one. If we put that down there, if you copy this, you can drag it, drop it, right click, copy, paste. But make sure you copy the mission file into your C drive or D drive, wherever it is, wherever your Dayz is located, and then into the missions folder. Once you've got that in there, if I close that out, you don't need that anymore. I'll leave that up a little bit. Right, open that up. Right, you got some files. The main things that you're going to, well, there's three. You will need to go into the expansion folder in a bit, but not quite yet. So the first thing you want to do is on the start bat thing here, Dayz community offline mode.bat. So that will be your start bat, okay? Right click, you can just edit, or I'm going to edit with Notepad++. That opened up on my second monitor. Right, so it'll look like this. If you go all the way to, just scroll to the end, you'll have, it will look like that. So you've got the start bat's going to load expansion licensed, CF, and community online tools. But what I do, and which I showed you in the first video, is I make sure I use static objects and builder static, should I say, and builder items. What that means is it gives you extra items that you can use to build when you're doing your custom stuff. And I think it's builder statics. I think it's that one. I might build right. One of them, it allows you to click on certain items on the map that you don't know the name for. And you can get the name. So say, for example, like the sandbags, I think they're called like H barriers. You could click on them on the map and it would give you the name of them, so you could actually search for it if you wanted it. But anyway, so what you would do is you need to add them into your start bat. So you need to add builder statics and builder items. So because I just copied it in that, I can just Control V and paste it back in. Doesn't matter if builder statics is before builder items or builder items before builder statics, as long as it's in and right. Now, mine are all locate into the workshop folder. If we just open up another file explorer, go to where Dayz is again, Steam apps, common. So not this workshop folder. Go to common, go to Dayz. This workshop folder with the little what do you call it? A comma, not a comma, exclamation mark thing. You need this folder. Well, you don't need it. I'll show you a workaround if you don't have it. If you don't have it, you can just right click, new folder, and use that name. I forgot what I just called that now. Yeah, you know what I mean. That little symbol, and then put workshop, and you can create a folder if you don't have it. But if you go in here, you do need to make sure. So I've just added that builder statics and builder items to my start bat. Now, I know they're in my workshop folder because I've already set this up and I've been using it for ages. But make sure they're in here. So you've got builder items, builder statics. So you will need to go to the Steam workshop and make sure you are subscribed to them on the workshop, and they are in this folder. If they're not in this folder, sometimes they will go to another folder. Sometimes they will go, if we go to Steam apps, and if you go to workshop here, go to content, then 221100, it's Dayz. Sometimes they'll be here. Now they'll be here as a number format, so you just got to find which it is. You can right click, copy, and then go back to this one. And then you can paste it in here. Once you copy it, you can paste it in here, but just rename it to what the actual mod is called. So it'd be at builder items or at builder statics, whichever one you need to do. If it isn't in there, if you don't have the workshop folder or the mod isn't gone in there, and you use DZSAL, so this is the DZSA launcher. So you can use this as well. So when you use DZSA launcher, you join a server. If you don't have the mod, it will download the mod and it will download it in this file. So if we go into this file, you can see I've got a load of mods in here. And if we find builder, I should have them in here. I don't use this folder for offline mode, but they should still be in here somewhere. Okay, they're not in here, but it doesn't matter. If they're not in there, you can go and copy it, but you might as well just copy it to the workshop folder, like I just showed you. But if you wanted to, if they was in this folder, you can link the start back to that folder. And to link the start back to that folder, all you do is you change that, and you put DZSAL instead of workshop, if that makes sense. once you've done that, you would save. So go ahead and save, and then you could close that down. Then in this mission folder again with the expansion, you can go to your init. So edit with Notepad++, and it opens up the init. Now let me just delete something because I've customized mine a minute. Your init will not look like this. I need to get rid of all my objects. Your init will look something like that. Okay. Oh, minus it also won't have the spawner helper function. So it won't have that bit I just highlighted. It'll have the define expansion loop spawn at the top. It'll have include these ball things, and it'll have this mission thing, and then you'll just have this in your void main. And because this so you got load trader objects and trader NPCs here too. Now I'll go into this in a minute, but because I'm loading some custom objects in, now I could load these custom objects in a different way if I want to, but because I've already got the this file format, let's just paste them back in. I've copied this. These objects are when I used to have a server before expansion. So it's using the old spawn object like coding. So I could actually change them to the new expansion format. And the new expansion format is something I'm getting to, and we'll show you when I'm in the offline mode. But for now, to transfer all them over to the new ways, it'll take me a little bit of time. So it doesn't really matter. This is only offline mode. It can stay like that. So what you can do is, as default, this trader objects are all true and the NPC is false. I don't know if the NPC things are working, why it's false, because it's weird why one is set to true as default and one is set to false. This just loads all the trader objects. Now, I've deleted all the default trader objects in my file, but I can go in and show you, what it is. But if you don't want to load all the trader objects, just change that to false. And then when you're doing all your editing, you won't have it. Because I don't have, in my server, I don't have the trader objects. So to start with, I did have that as false. But a friend of mine has been working on some custom lagoon sort of thing for my server. Because we're loading that as the new expansion file type, I need to load it in through the trader object. So I've had to put this to true, if that makes sense. Yeah, I've had to put this to true so it loads in the custom object that we've done. But you could have that as false, but you probably want to keep it as true because you will be doing stuff as the new expansion way. But once you've got everything there, you save that. Like I said, ignore these. You won't have these probably. Not unless you've got some old objects that you're copying from an old server to a new server. Like I did. Like I had a server without expansion. Now I've got a server with it, and I've just copied it over. But generally, just ignore all this bit, okay? And further down. So basically, you wouldn't really need to come in here. Not unless you are changing this to false. Okay, and if you are putting custom objects in here like this, like I've done, you do need this. You do need this spawner helper function. Anyway, if we close out of that, I don't want to save any changes. Right, once you're done, now if we go into expansion, if we go to objects, this is where your objects are. Okay, and I've got one called lagoon.map. This is what my friend was doing. He made a little lagoon. Normally you'll have like a Krasnostav, you'll have a Balota, you'll have what else was there? I forgot. Well, there was about 6 or 7 .map files in here that had objects around the map. Now I've deleted them because I don't use them and I don't have them in my server. So you can keep them if you want. If you use the default expansion objects, obviously keep them. But I didn't want them loading in with my server, and I'll show you, because when I go to my server, in my init, I need to put the trader objects to true. If I had them to true and kept all the default map files in there, it would load them, and I don't want to load them, so I've deleted them. And again, I've deleted them from here, so everything I do in offline mode is pretty much like my server. It's like a test server, but obviously I can't test like mods and scripts and certain things, but I can test building custom stuff like buildings. So anyway, what you need to do, and I'll show you this in a second, but yeah, I just wanted to show you where the objects were. Right, so what you need to do is, I need to go back to that file. It's a quick way. Right, so you would double click on this. So once you start back with builder items and builder statics, you make sure your init's okay, you've done whatever you need to in the expansion folder. You double click on your start bar and let it load. It shouldn't take a second. I don't know, this might load me in at the lagoon, or it might load me in at the northeast airfield. Either way, you might see a load of custom stuff in here. Don't worry, yours won't look like that. It's because I've loaded all my custom objects. So I like to when I do offline mode, like I just said, I like to make my offline mode look like it's my server, so I know where if I need to make any changes, if I need to move something, if I need to add something to it, it's there. So yeah, it's put me in the northeast airfield with all my stuff. So what you can do, if you press end, it'll activate the admin controls. Now if I just press Y a minute and go to map on here, I just want to go to my trader, because I'm just going to show you something really quickly how you go about doing it. Auto's down here somewhere. There. And double click there. Right, escape that. So this is my auto trader. Now my traders aren't here because they're obviously in my trader file. But all my objects are it's only very basic. It's nothing like special. So right, in here would be my vehicle trader. I think there's usually a few items as well. There's usually a desk here and a trader behind the desk. Now, what I want to do, now this isn't going to be my final thing. I'll come in and properly do it when I can. But for demonstration purposes, with expansion now, they've got trader signs. So if I press U, brings up this mode. If you want to turn gold mode on, go to G and just click the G. But if you click OB, it brings up the objects, and if you click this little crane arm, it brings up, I can clear them, it brings up a little object info box. Now, if I just search trader, and here it becomes, they're facing the wrong way, but you've got trader signs. So for example, I've got trader aircraft there, and I've got trader cars. Now this trader does cars and aircraft, or helicopters and cars at least. It doesn't do planes. So I would generally need to have two, but some people have a helicopter trader separately to the car trader. I'm far too lazy for that. There might be some point I'll get around to it, but at the minute I'm far too lazy. But so if we just click, and again, this now is going to work. I think it was in the first episode. It was either the first or second video that I showed you this, and I'm pretty sure it's the first video. This works exactly like the old offline mode does. If you just click ground, it puts it in this box, and it also puts it in the ground. If you press insert, you can use the free mode cam. Let's just go there, and then you can click on the sign and drag it, and then you've obviously got the position, so you can rotate it, the yaw. So let me just rotate it so you can actually see the sign. So this says cars trader. Now I'm not going to be picky where I put it. This is just demonstration purposes. But you can move it out, back, wherever, up or down. You can pitch and you can roll. Once you've got your objects in where you want and you're happy, if you press Control S and then just tab out, go to like Notepad or something, open up a new file and Control V, it actually copies the objects that you put in, and it's using the new object like format. So if we go back to, did I just open it before? There we go. So this is the old one, spawn object, and this is the new type. Okay. So, and to load the new type in, it is different. You load it through the trader objects. And again, I'll come and show you that. So, once you've got all your objects in, oh, there is also a way, like I said, the old object way, you can actually convert it into this way. Now, I will get around to showing you that at some stage. That is planned. But for now, I'm not going to show you. That'll be in the future. So, once you've gone ahead and you have got all your objects sorted, done what you want to do, you need to save the file. So, what you would do is you need to save it as a .map file, and I'm just going to save it to, yeah, I will end up deleting it. But for now, just so you can see, I'm going to save it here, and I'm just going to call it trader. I think you can put two words together, but I've always seen in the examples and on the wiki page, if there's more than one word, they use these little underscore marks. So I'm going to use the underscore marks just so I know I'm getting it right. So trader signs .map. Save it. Okay, now to put this into the server. So I've already got my server open. Now I am using a control panel, but you know, I could use FTP if you want to. I'm not going to go in and show you FTP because guys, it's you that uses that, then you know what to do. I have to transfer your files over. I'm just going to work from a control panel because it's a lot easier. So you go to your server, you need to find your MP missions. Now I've got all the mission files here. So I've got the expansion Chernarus, expansion Enoch, expansion Deer Isle, and you know, whatever. I'm just going to go to this one. This is my Chernarus plus Gloom. This is the one I'm working from, and you want to go to the expansion folder. So and then into objects. Once you're here, you can see I've got my lagoon.map. That's loaded and that's on my server. It's not final. It's, you know, I would say 90% done. There's just some little extras to do, some little like things just to make it look a bit more prettier. But once you're done, you need to upload the file in here. Now, for me, because I'm using a control panel, I've got a nice easy upload file button. If you're using, like I said, FTP, you need to go to where you saved your .map file and copy it into this trader object file. But what you do is you click upload, find the map, and I can just double click on it. That's uploaded successfully, click done, and it's there. Now, I'm going to delete that because, like I said, that's not final. I don't want that in my server like that. I'm going to delete it, just that one. I'm not deleting lagoon.map because that's in, but you can see how I just got the file in there. And again, I don't want to keep going on about FTP, but you know, FTP is pretty simple. You find the .map file where you saved it, and you copy it, you upload it, whatever it's called in FTP, you upload it into the MP missions, whatever map mission you're using, expansion folder, objects, and then you upload it into there. Okay? But what you do need to, if we go back, you need to go to your init. So, and my init is custom a little bit, you know. These are all my default, you know, my old custom objects. This is how I'm loading it in, and I've got a separate custom folder for that. I'm not using the expansion format to load these in. Again, I might get around to it eventually and change them so it uses the expansion way, but for now I don't. But you just need to scroll down a little. Probably you might not even need. You probably won't have all this actually, so this might be right at the top for you. Now I'm not loading the NPC traders, but the trader objects is true. Now I've been having that as false because the default expansion objects I don't have. Like I said to you at the start, I don't have them. But because now I've got custom objects and I'm doing it through the expansion way, so I've got that lagoon.map file that you just saw, I need to put this to true. And again, if I had the trader signs that I just made, you know, I would need it to true to load it. So make sure in your init for your server this is true when you upload in the map.file into your server. Go ahead and save. It's probably best to make sure your server's offline or, like, you know, stopped. Save it. I think you can do this where your server's running and save it, but just restart your server. But you know, sometimes things can go wrong if your server's running, so it's always best to make sure your server's stopped and not running before you do any changes. Once you saved it, go ahead, you know, restart your server. I've got a little restart stop thing there. Restart your server and then log into it. Let it all obviously boot up and log into it, and it'll be there. And if I go to this, I can quickly also show you the lagoon. It's over here. Don't know why that says offline. Okay, is it not actually taking me over now? Have I turned... I have no idea why that's not working now. Just keep saying offline. Oh, hang on. I need to go out of free cam. It was working. Make sure you're out of free cam. And then once I'm here, see, I need to go back into free cam, but I didn't want to go to free cam all the way from over there. And here is the little goon. You know, it's a pretty decent thing. Just, I mean, it's not like great, and it's not got like loads of stuff here. It's just pretty basic, just something simple that my mate was working on. But we got the little lagoon. There was a few more barracks here and tents, but they was kind of buggy. They kind of was floating for some reason. And when he put them in the offline mode, they wasn't floating. So there will be a few more little things here. But you can see we got the lagoon in. And yeah, that's how you load the new expansion object file format. Anyway, that's it. Hope that's helpful. And like I said, I will get around soon, you know, maybe a week, couple of weeks, try and do it. I'm off work next week, so I should have some time to do it then. I'll show you how you go about converting the old object files and transferring them into the new expansion files. And when I do that, I probably won't put them in, I may do, but I probably won't put them into my server. I'm just going to show you how you do it. And again, it's really simple video. That'll probably only take 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes tops, but probably not. Okay, like I said, 2 or 3 minutes probably tops. Anyway, thanks for watching. I've rambled on too much. Have fun, and we'll see you next time.